What's up, y'all? J. Roos Theory. I did a video the other night after the Canelo Charlo fight. A lot of people weren't pleased with that fight, especially for 80 some dollars. But I was talking about Floyd Mayweather's post fight press conference. And I took the video down because someone made a comment that Floyd was talking about something different than what I was talking about. So I wanted to go back and rewatch it and see if I owed Floyd an apology. And I really don't when I look at it because he said something before about Ali taking punches, meaning in the rope-a-dope fight with George Foreman. And he's talking about how his defense is so great. Like, how can you be considered great when you take punishment? And you can hear him pivot in the press conference because he started off talking about his defense. And then the next thing you know, he was saying, well, when Ali, he's talking about Sugar Ray Robinson too, but when he's talking about speech, he was talking about Ali. He was like, well, when Ali could talk, y'all didn't want to, and when Ali could speak clearly, y'all didn't want to give him his greatness or whatever. Then when he couldn't talk, you're like, oh, he's great. And he was saying, if that's what it takes to be great, then it's not for me. And I have grandsons, and it feels great to be able to talk to them. So he kind of pivoted. At first, he was about to brag on his defense, and then put down Ali. And then I guess he knew that wouldn't get too many hand claps from the media and the public. So then he kind of pivoted to, well, I just don't want to be looked at to where, he made it kind of about the political aspect. Like, when he could talk, like I said, y'all didn't say nothing. Then the minute he couldn't talk, y'all said he was great. And I don't want to be in that position. But either way, he's taking a shot at Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson, which is crazy to me. Why would you? First of all, your work should speak for itself. Why are you taking the time out of this press conference to big up yourself? Why? And if you say, well, your shirt is bragging on your arms, it's just funny. I'm not, bragging on my shoulders or arms. It's just a shirt. But Floyd was serious. He really wants to be known as the greatest. And then he gets on the podium saying the fighter that he's promoting, he wants them to be better than him. If you want them to be better than you, what's wrong with Ali being better than you? Why does it have to be somebody from your stable? Why? Because it brings you more shine. And I saw Showbiz. He was at the Charlo Canelo fight, and he said that Mayweather called him into the VIP, and they were arguing back and forth. Like, Mayweather's talking about he's the greatest, and Showbiz was like, no, I don't think you're the greatest. I think Sugar Ray Robinson is. And then Floyd told him he could get out or something, and he's like, well, you invited me in here. Floyd, what's up, man? Like, we know you're a great fighter, but why you keep taking shots at someone like Ali, who's considered such a great man inside and outside of the ring? Why would you do that? Why would you sit there and talk about your defense and all that and compare it to Ali? Just say your defense was great. Why do you have to try to go at someone that is held in such high regard? You're not going to get people on your side going at Ali. I mean, who's going to be like, yeah, that's cool, Floyd? No, it's not cool. And for you to talk about his speech, like I touched on before, he doesn't know what he's talking about. There's a lot of things that were going on in the 60s and 70s to shut people down. It was either someone in the FBI or the government that said they were in fear of a black messiah uprising. So they didn't know who that was. So what better way to shut down someone that they called the Louisville Lip, Muhammad Ali, because he talked so much, or Cassius Clay at the time? They wanted to shut that down. And there's chemically ways that you can stop somebody from talking so much. I've met a lot of people in boxing, and we know that there was more going on than Ali taking punches to his condition. Look at how many punches a lot of fighters have taken. Joe Frazier, sure, his speech was a little slurred. Terry Norris, who I've known personally, his speech is a little slurred, but they're not in the same condition that Ali was in. Look at all the punches George Foreman took. Look at all the punches Evander Holyfield took. None of them are in the condition that Ali was in. I believe he was given something to put him into that state because they were in fear at the time of a black uprising. You can call it a conspiracy theory, you can call it whatever you want, but use a little common sense. If taking punches were that damaging, then we'd see a lot more fighters in the condition that Ali was in. Look at all the punishment mixed martial artists take. Do you see any of them in the condition that Ali was in? So there's more to the story. Even Bob Marley, he goes somewhere. I forget where he was called somewhere. They give him a boot. He puts it in. He feels a prick, and it's like a needle in his boot, and it messes with his toe. He gets melanoma cancer. And I understand that black folks aren't even susceptible to that cancer. And some will say, well, he was mixed. Maybe it's his white side. But they were trying to shut down anybody that was going against the system at the time. Bob Marley, Muhammad Ali, and there are others, but I'm not going to get into that. But if you had a voice and you had a huge following, they have ways to shut that down. And it had nothing to do with him taking punches. So when Floyd talks about Ali's defense and him not being able to talk well, it had nothing to do so much with the punches. There were other things at play that he knows nothing about. So he should, do his research before he goes speaking about stuff he has no idea on. Everything is not what you think it is, And also, let's just say you want to say it was the punches. Once again, Floyd, you're not taking punches from 230 or 240 pound men. You're taking punches from guys like 130 and 140. There's a difference. They're weight classes for a reason. So until you take punches from people the size of George Foreman, it behooves you to not talk about how well you can speak, It's just ridiculous to feel that your greatness is dependent on Ali. Why can't you just be great on your own merit, or on your own weight class? For one, being a heavyweight, that's the top of the food chain. So how can someone that's not a heavyweight declare himself greater than a heavyweight? Heavyweights bring in the real attention. Even the heavyweight division has been kind of lackluster as far as getting the big fights lately. When the heavyweight division is popping, the whole sport's popping. Why? Because that's the top of the food chain. So for you to declare yourself better than someone that was a heavyweight is absolutely ridiculous. And, if you want to be considered great, let others call you great. Let others call you great. I just don't know why he feels the need to take shots at Ali. The man got hostages back for America. Do you really think you're going to pull people in to have your back when you're insulting or coming across like you're insulting someone that people hold in such high regard? They're not going to jump on your bandwagon when you're doing that. And then he's at the press conference saying, I guess he realized he was coming across egotistical. So he's like, this Canelo's night, we got to show him respect. Why? Because you beat Canelo, so you want to show him respect? I just thought it was interesting, though, too, how he got up there with the young man he was promoting, talking about how he put food in, he and his dads or something like that, put food in their refrigerator and paid their rent and said, I didn't talk about that when I was on the podium. You're talking about it now, Floyd. What's the difference? Whether you say it now or you said it then, you're talking about it now. You keep patting yourself on the back. What's with the sudden urge to keep saying you're the greatest? You could fight, but fighting, doesn't, it's the caliber of opponents too. Not saying that Floyd didn't fight great opponents, but stop comparing yourself to Ali. You're not going to make people jump on your bandwagon by trying to go at Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson. People can go back and watch highlights of them inside and outside of the ring, and there's no comparison. Ali is greater than Floyd Mayweather, or was greater than Floyd Mayweather. He was just he was a special guy, and I just don't understand that type of thing. For him to get on the podium and start bragging about himself, and egos, egos, egos are huge. Egos push people away from you. If you want to bring people into your stable, or you want people to co-sign you, it's best to check the ego out the door, because you lose a lot of people when you start with all that. Let the media, let us talk about how great you were. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it, man. Lennox Lewis used to get on the mic after fights and say, "No guy test," but he didn't go in there talking about Ali in a negative way. Ali's the reason he said he started fighting. Him and his mom used to watch the fights together when he was growing up, watching Ali fight. So I just thought it was inappropriate. And, some came to Floyd's defense on the video that I took down, saying he's speaking facts. And what he said was he just didn't want to be considered like Muhammad Ali, when, like I said, when they said, "Oh, he can't speak, so now he's great." But when he could speak, they were dissing him. There was more to it than that. You got to read between the lines. He's basically saying my defense was better than theirs, so that makes me better than them. Okay, let's say your defense was better than Ali. Was your offense better? You're fast, but were you faster than Ali? Now, keep in mind, he was a heavyweight with that speed. So, did you fight any punchers like Sonny Liston? Did you fight any punchers like Joe Frazier, George Foreman? Until then, you don't get the crown of being the greatest fighter of all time. Not even close. Wow. But I'm sure Floyd will still have some fanboys out there coming to his defense. Well, no, what he was saying was he just didn't want this and that. Yeah, but when he was talking about being able to talk to his grandsons and all that, that was a shot at Ali, saying that he couldn't speak and all that. And like I said, you don't know all the stuff that was going on. You don't know what needles were given to Ali when he would go to take a physical. You don't know what were in those needles. And like I said, if all them blows were from punches, then we'd see more fighters in that condition that Ali was in. We'd see that a whole lot more. And the sport would probably get banned, because everybody would be getting so severely damaged that someone would step and say, we got to end this sport because can't nobody talk when they retire. But that's not happening. Ask yourself why that is. Don't be a sheep. Don't just look at things on the surface. Dig a little deeper. Do your research before you speak on people and speak on events that you know nothing about. It's the J. Roos Theory. Make sure to comment, share, subscribe. LSR forever. Make sure you subscribe to my backup platform and WJ. Thank you for watching. Like I said, LSR forever. And be fearless. Yay.